Today it feels like a fog has just completely lifted from my head. This ringing in the ear, it's actually contact with myself. So instead of, hunting for an explanation out there, I'm taking the wheel of what I create.
I totally felt that shift too. So let's process this in today's X-ray deep dive into the TPC reality diary. We're looking at the disinversion of the human role. I mean, are we actually helping the ETs update their own game?
That is the million-dollar question, or maybe the million frequency question, right? Because let's be honest, if you stop anyone on the street right now and ask them about extraterrestrials or dimensional beings, the answer follows a very strict cultural script.
Oh, absolutely. The famous hierarchy script.
Yeah.
The one that consistently puts humanity on the absolute lowest rung of the evolutionary ladder.
Exactly. We look up at the sky and we just assume, wow, they're the grand masters.
Right, the technologically advanced saviors.
The wise ones who solved all their conflicts. And us. We're just the ants, the cosmic kindergartners, basically just waiting for someone to come down in a shiny ship and
Fix our climate and our politics for us.
you can clean up our mess.
Right.
It's a narrative of complete dependency.
It is. And I mean, it makes historical sense. We've spent millennia looking up, seeking salvation from above. But the material we're diving into today, straight from the foundations of TPC, consciousness projection technology, it proposes something that might sound like pure heresy at first glance.
Yeah, heresy to both traditional science and traditional spirituality.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this concept of the disinversion is so fascinating. I got really stuck on that word while reading the source material.
Disinversion.
Right, because it suggests we weren't just a little bit wrong. It suggests we've been holding the map upside down this entire time and, complaining that the world looks crooked.
That is a perfect analogy. Because in the traditional view, the one we see constantly in those ancient astronaut shows or in mystical traditions, the basic premise is that these beings, the Neferu, the Anunnaki, the gods.
The culture mothers.
Exactly. That they came here in the past and engineered us. They are the architects, and we are just the byproduct, the genetic experiment.
The open-air laboratory. The idea that they tweaked our DNA, gave us agriculture, taught us how to stack rocks into pyramids, and without them, we'd still be, bumping our heads in caves.
Right.
It puts us in an incredibly passive position, doesn't it?
Extremely passive, and honestly, victimized. In that old framework, the human is just the project. We're here waiting to be fixed or rescued or taught. But according to the insights from TPC, the mechanical reality of the cosmos is actually the exact opposite. The arrow points the other way.
The opposite. Okay, wait, let's be a little careful here, because saying it's the opposite makes it sound like we created them or that we're somehow superior. Isn't that just arrogant anthropocentrism, like humans are the center of the universe? I mean, look at the state of the world. We don't exactly look like grand architects of anything right now.
I completely understand that caution, and it is crucial we don't fall into an ego trap here. It's not about moral or intellectual superiority.
Right.
It's strictly about vibratory function and physics. TPC introduces the concept of the multidimensional human as the silent architect. Not because we're smarter, but because we possess a density, an anchoring in physical matter that they simply do not have.
So it's a matter of physics, not hierarchy. Break down that anchoring for me. Why would a super advanced being, one that travels between dimensions, need my heavy physical density here on Earth?
Think of it like electricity. You need a ground wire to discharge and stabilize the energy.
Otherwise, you short out the system.
Exactly. Without that dense base, the energy becomes volatile. We are essentially the ground wire of the cosmos. The TPC wisdom suggests that we are, right at this very moment, providing the vibratory support so that these dimensional extraterrestrials can actually update themselves.
Let me see if I can translate that into something practical. Instead of looking at the sky and begging to be saved, we need to understand that our experience here, this heavy, difficult, daily struggle with physical matter, is the exact glue that allows them to exist fully.
Perfect, yes. They need the experience of matter to complete their own evolution, but they can't descend all the way down here without fragmenting or losing their consciousness. So who does it for them? We do, the human.
So we completely remove the image of the human who needs to be cured. And remembering that TPC avoids words like cure, preferring harmonization or updating, and we step into the role of the human that sustains the updating of the cosmos itself.
Exactly. We are the catalysts. It is a radical posture shift. You stop being the patient in the hospital bed and realize you're actually part of the medical team. Or, better yet, the cosmic engineering team.
It's like that terrifying moment in driver's ed. You're in the car, sweating, thinking you're just the panic student who doesn't know anything.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Right. But then you look down and realize, wait, I have the dual controls. I'm actually the instructor. And the quote-unquote ET is the one who needs our help to learn how to navigate this incredibly bumpy material road.
And that metaphor works so well because it removes the messianic weight from the whole thing. It's not that we are a holy saint saving the universe. There's a technical, almost mechanical function to our existence.
Processing data.
Yes, we process vibratory data, emotions, physical sensations, sheer density that they simply cannot process on their own.
That completely flips the power dynamic. But it makes me think about that classic esoteric idea, the ascended masters or star guides. If we are the architects or the technical instructors, where does that master-apprentice relationship go? Do we just toss out everything we learned about respecting these intelligences?
We don't toss it out, but we definitely recontextualize it. TPC refers to this as mutual amnesia and the vice versa connection.
Vice versa. I like that. It implies a two-way street. Nobody is fundamentally more important. We're all just in the same boat or the same spaceship.
It goes deeper than just importance. Traditional spirituality always claimed the ET is the illuminated master and the human is the fallen one, the amnesiac who forgot their divine nature and needs to find their way home.
Right.
But the TPC analysis reveals that dimensional intelligences also suffer from a form of forgetfulness.
Oh, they forgot too.
Yeah.
But they have ships that supposedly fold space-time. They manipulate reality.
Yeah.
How can they have amnesia? They seem to know exactly what they're doing.
Because advanced technology or mental power does not equal complete consciousness. They might have mastery over subtle matter, but they suffer from vibratory incompleteness.
Wow.
The fascinating part is that they also need to remember that they are cosmic creators, but in an integrated way. Very often, these intelligences are actually projecting their own unresolved cosmic traumas onto humanity.
Hold on. That flips the table in a way I did not expect. Are you saying that what we normally call an alien contact or an abduction or interference could actually be them trying to sort out their own psychological baggage through us?
Exactly. They look at us with our capacity to feel, to touch, to densify reality, and they try to understand themselves through us. It's a symbiosis, and this is where the superconscious human comes in.
Okay, what happens when we become superconscious?
When we awaken, when we update our consciousness and assume this architect role, we remind them of their galactic origin. We accompany them through their process so they don't just dump their trauma on us.
So there's no sacred pedestal anymore. No, oh, great being of light, please tell me what to do with my life. It's more like, hey, partner, remember you're a creator too. Let's align this together because if I go down, you go down with me.
Which completely removes the stigma that humanity is the universe's only problematic or quote-unquote sinful race. It places all of us into a web of mutual dependence.
We need their top-down perspective, sure.
Yes, but they desperately depend on our ability to anchor reality down here.
And that explains why they don't just swoop down and fix our problems with a snap of their fingers. They literally can't. The physics of it prevents them. They need us to balance the equation down here so that their equation up there works out.
As above, so below, but with a vital nuance. What happens below sustains the structure of what is above. If the base shakes, the top crumbles.
Now, if we are that fundamental, it really changes how we approach mysteries, doesn't it? Because we all love a good mystery. We love the X-Files approach, hunting for ghosts, looking for the truth out there.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I grew up watching movies where the brave archaeologist digs through the sand in Egypt and finally uncovers the hidden truth sealed in some ancient tomb.
Well, that brings us to the next crucial point of the disinversion, projection versus discovery. And I hate to break it to you, but your movie archaeologist is operating on a very old model of reality.
There goes my Indiana Jones fantasy. But let's unpack this. Why is it outdated to look for the truth out there in artifacts or paranormal phenomena?
It's not that archaeology lacks historical value, of course, but from a consciousness standpoint, it's a limited view. TPC calls this pseudo-holism.
Pseudo-holism, okay.
It's the idea that the paranormal or spiritual truth or cosmic laws are hidden objects out there in the world, in a pyramid, in a secret code, in some distant dimension. And if you just get the right glasses or the right map, you'll find the treasure.
Got it. It's the treasure hunt mentality. The belief that the treasure is already there, fixed, completely independent of me, and I'm just the lucky explorer who stumbles over it.
Exactly. But TPC wisdom number 1 clearly states, we observe the world happening through us. Reality isn't happening to us, it's happening through us. We don't find the world, we project the world.
So there is no buried treasure waiting for me. The treasure only exists there because I projected it there in the first place. That is really hard to process.
In a way, yes. Reality isn't an objective, fixed object you just trip over. It is projected by your consciousness. We aren't passive perceivers. We are active projectors.
It reminds me of those old reel-to-reel movie projectors. If a movie is playing on the screen and I hate the ending, say it's a horror movie, it does me no good to run up to the white screen and try to paint over the actors or yell at the canvas.
Right, the screen can't change the movie.
Exactly. I have to walk all the way back to the projection booth and swap out the reel of film.
And that projection booth is your consciousness. The traditional worldview is always hunting for buried empires or secret laws, treating them as external things that control us. TPC radicalizes this. The objective world is a consequence. It's a reflection of the subjective world of the cosmic creator that you are.
But let's bring this down to earth for a second for anyone listening who's dealing with real life. It's a tough pill to swallow daily. Because when a massive bill arrives in the mail, or a health crisis hits, or the economy tanks, that feels incredibly real, very solid, and very external.
It does.
It doesn't feel like I sat down and intentionally projected that mess. It actually makes you kind of angry to hear it, because it sounds like you're getting blamed for it.
I completely understand that reaction. A bill in the mail is a very persistent collective projection, I'll admit that. But the key here is not blame. It's responsibility.
Responsibility, not blame.
Right. The way you deal with it, the reality you experience from that event, is entirely projected by your state of consciousness. If you view yourself as a victim of external circumstances, reality will absolutely confirm your victimization. But if you see yourself as the architect learning to navigate density, reality responds to that authority.
Okay, but if I am the projector, and this whole disinversion drops all the responsibility right into my lap, how do I actually clean the lens of this projector? Because the theory is beautiful, but in practice, we get stuck. We run the same drama film on a loop, and we don't know where the stop button is. How do we help ourselves, and by extension, those ETs who are relying on our clarity?
You've hit the exact nerve center of this whole philosophy. It is fundamental to have tools for this. The theory expands the mind, but your energy field requires technical adjustments to sustain this new vision without burning out.
Makes sense.
It's important to remember that recorded multidimensional therapy allows for the harmonization of your energy field without the need for physical presence.
Without being there in person.
Right. You will be present with your energetic body. TPC accesses your subtle essence and delivers a video record with the information from your personal field, facilitating deep updates in the various realities of your life.
And it really is amazing how today's technology allows for that, isn't it? A digital video file that interacts with our subtle field from a distance. Which actually leads me directly to another massive point from the source material that confuses a lot of people: our relationship with technology itself.
Oh, this is one of my absolute favorite topics in TPC because it touches right on our modern obsessions and our deepest fears.
Yeah. You turn on the news and you see artificial intelligence writing poetry, quantum computers breaking codes, SpaceX rockets landing backwards, and the natural reaction is to think, wow, technology is evolving us.
Yes, the idea that we're going to turn into digital beings of light.
Exactly. We have this deeply ingrained, almost hidden belief that the machine is going to save us, or that it's going to wake us up to a new age.
And that is the classic error of causality. Traditional spirituality, and especially the sci-fi media we consume, constantly sells us the idea that superior technology is the unmistakable sign of spiritual evolution, or that we desperately need alien technology to make our next quantum leap.
Like they're going to descend from the clouds and hand us the magic pill for all diseases and a free energy motor. It's the ultimate dream of a lazy humanity, right?
Exactly.
Just waiting for the shiny hardware upgrade to come along and fix the corrupted software of our souls.
It's waiting for a technological savior. But TPC inverts this entirely. The deprogramming mechanism for this belief is understanding that technology is a consequence, not a cause. It's the side effect, not the medicine.
So buying the latest smartphone doesn't actually make me more connected or more evolved.
Definitely not. TPC explicitly states that the awareness and awakening of consciousness precedes technology. It provides the necessary support for any technological advancement to even emerge.
Let me process that, because it's huge for anyone working in tech or just living in the modern world. Are you saying that technology like AI, the internet, nuclear power, only exists because our consciousness expanded first,
Yes.
that we basically unlocked the vibratory capacity to create it and not the other way around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The recognition that we are cosmic beings is the engine. The technology is just the exhaust. It's the fruit of the tree. If you try to force technology without the matching consciousness, you get what history has repeatedly shown us, destruction.
Science without conscience is the ruin of the soul.
Precisely. But TPC goes even further here. Advanced technology wouldn't even appear on the physical plane if there wasn't already a critical mass of human consciousness ready to sustain it.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's like giving the keys of a Ferrari to a 5-year-old.
Okay.
The problem isn't the car. The problem is the consciousness of the driver. If the Ferrari is sitting in the garage, it means the driver grew up enough, theoretically, at least, to buy it. So in the TPC framework, we are the engine of innovation, not the machines.
We are the indispensable engine. Nuclear tech, digital tech, AI. These are all just dense reflections, material mirrors, of an update that has already taken place on the subtle level of humanity. We create on the outside what we've already processed on the inside.
So if I'm looking around and seeing these wild, sometimes terrifying technological leaps out there, is that paradoxically a good sign? Does it mean that internally the multidimensional human has already leveled up, even if we still feel pretty dizzy from the transition?
Yes, it is a good sign, and that's exactly why we shouldn't fear technology, but we also shouldn't worship it as some new god. We need to understand it's simply a mirror of our own creative potential. It's a tool we manifested. When you truly understand that you are the cause, the machine stops being an existential threat and just becomes a resource.
That puts all the power back into the hands of the human. I really like that. We stop playing the victim of the technological matrix and remember that we are the original programmers of the code.
And this brings us to the ultimate synthesis of our conversation today. If you put all these pieces together, the disinversion of our role with ETs, the idea that we project reality from within, and seeing tech as a consequence of consciousness, we arrive at a brand new archetype for the human being.
The self-therapist.
Exactly.
It's the only logical conclusion, isn't it? Because if we can't look up into the sky expecting gods or ETs to swoop down and save us,
Right.
and it's useless to look down, digging up ancient ruins, hoping to find a magic secret carved in stone, there's really only one direction left to look.
Looking inward. That is the final disinversion. The human ceases to be a puppet of divinities, whether those are scientific divinities with their cold absolute truths or spiritual divinities with their dogmas and dependency loops.
We step up and take the role of the architect of cosmic plenitude. Let's be frank. That's a massive responsibility. It's intimidating. It means that if the world is a mess, we can't blame the devil or the shadow government or the reptilians or, Saturn being in retrograde.
No, blame has absolutely no utility in TPC. TPC invites us to harmonize our own projection. And the true beauty of this is that by doing so, by becoming therapists of ourselves, we perform the greatest possible service to the cosmos.
Because we stabilize the field.
Exactly. We allow the dimensional beings who are connected to us to also harmonize and update themselves.
It is wild to think that by dealing with my own internal running in the ear or by managing my personal anxiety in my little apartment, I might literally be helping an intelligence in another dimension keep from collapsing. It's the micro and the macro happening simultaneously.
It is a completely interlinked web. Your personal process is a galactic process. There is no separation between your living room and the cosmos. Once you truly grasp that you are the projector, you stop fighting with the movie screen and you start adjusting the lens with care and precision.
And life has to get lighter when you do that, right? Because you stop exhausting yourself trying to control the uncontrollable out there, what other people are doing, what the government is doing, and you focus on the only place you have real, immediate power, your own consciousness and vibration.
That is the heart of TPC. Reclaiming your sovereignty. Not out of ego, not to declare yourself the best in the universe, but simply to fulfill your function in the cosmic ecosystem. We are the anchor that allows the ship to navigate safely through the waters of matter. Without the anchor, the ship just drifts.
Wow, what a trip. I started this deep dive saying I had a fog in my head, but now I feel like I'm seeing everything in 4K. This idea that we are vibratory instructors, the silent architects, it completely changes how I'm going to look at the night sky.
It changes everything.
I'm not going to look up seeking help anymore. I'm going to look up offering support.
It's a lot to reflect on. And the most important thing is to practice this vision in your day-to-day life in those small challenges. When something strange or difficult happens, instead of asking, who is doing this to me, try asking, what am I projecting that created this?
That's the paradigm shift, taking the wheel. And knowing that this engine we're driving is powerful enough to update all of reality. Well, I think our minds have expanded enough for today, otherwise we're going to run out of hard drive space to process all this new info.
Definitely. Let's let this information settle in the energy field of everyone listening. Digesting these concepts takes time.
And for you listening, don't just blindly believe anything we've said today, but don't stubbornly doubt it either. Try this viewpoint on for size. See if the world doesn't make a whole lot more sense when you place yourself at the center of creation rather than on the periphery.
And just observe how your interactions, even with your technology and your spirituality, change in quality when you finally assume the posture of a cosmic adult.
To wrap up, this material contains 100% TPC information. All this knowledge was developed through contacts with extra-physical beings and consultations, original research, and channeled interviews. But here's a final thought to chew on before we go. If our physical density and waking consciousness are what ground these dimensional beings, what happens to them when we sleep? Does our collective dream state temporarily unmoor them? Or is that actually when the most profound cosmic updates get installed? Something for you to explore on your own.